My name is Cathy Gogue. I am the state chair for the Guam-CNMI committee for the employer support of the Guard and Reserve. And we're here this weekend, or we start today. We had some meetings with some key officials here in Saipan, just, so that they know about ESGR. And our purpose is the Uniformed Services Employment Reemployment Rights Act. That's USERRA. And so we met with employers today. Tomorrow we have a breakfast with SHRM, the Society of Human Resource Management, and we'll do a briefing, USERRA briefing. Most of those folks are HR folks, and so we'll have that tomorrow. And then on Friday we have a lunch with the boss. And so there's 54 committees, national committees or state committees, and we're one of 54. So most of our committees know about the lunch with the boss, or they do lunch with the bosses. So what they do is they invite service member employers to this luncheon, or some committees have breakfast, and we just go over USERRA so that employers know what the rights and entitlements are for their service members. And then we also do this briefing. We'll have a briefing tomorrow as well for our military outreach. So we'll be briefing the service members who are either in the Guard or Reserve, the Army Guard or the Army Reserve. And we'll also let them know about, because some of them are new recruits, so they'll know about USERRA and what their entitlements are, should they be activated or if they have weekend drill. So that's what we're here. So the biggest thing that we're here for is on Friday, Saturday, we'll have our annual planning and training meeting, and we have this annually. So we try to do it in Saipan so that we bring out our volunteers. We have 20 volunteers. We have 17 on Guam and 3 here in the NMI. And so we bring them over to Saipan, or we come here to Saipan, and then we invite the reserve component leaders from the reserve component. So we'll have the Army Guard, the Army Reserve, we'll have the Air Guard, the Air Reserve, we'll have the Coast Guard and the Navy Reserve all with us in our meeting on Friday and Saturday. So what we're trying to do at this annual planning training meeting is allow our volunteers to understand what the reserve components have planned for the year. We do briefings throughout the year for USERRA. And so what we wanted to do this year is plan it out so that, we're not asked to do USERRA briefs and we're not prepared to do it. So we generally, with USERRA, we have an ombudsman, and we have that person who does the brief on USERRA, and then we have a volunteer do the intro brief. So we're a volunteer organization. We're a Department of Defense organization, all volunteer driven. So at our annual planning and training meeting is just for us to plan for 2025. And into 2026, how we can collaborate with the reserve components.
And the work is critical, right? Because I guess the foundation is, if you're called to serve, you shouldn't be hurt with your employment.
Absolutely. And that's what it is to ensure that the service members are ready to serve should they be called for duty. So that's why it's important that we do what we do in terms of education and outreach. So.
And do you know how many service members there are in the CNMI, and maybe just CNMI, and then also how many employers are?
So right now we have about 80, close to 90 service members in the Guard and Reserve, Army Guard and Army Reserve. And so that's in the NMI in Saipan. On Guam, our force is a little bigger. I don't have that number, but it's a lot larger than here in Saipan, here in the CNMI. And so for Friday's lunch that we'll have with the boss, we have the Adjutant General Michael Cruz coming out, because the Guard, we wanted him to be our keynote speaker because the Guard has done heavily recruiting here in the NMI. And I'm sure that employers want to know why the Guard is strong with their efforts in recruiting service members for their branch of the reserve component. So he'll be our keynote speaker on Friday.
Great. Anything else you want the public to know?
I would like the public to know that we just recently appointed Joann Aquino. I know she's your president for Rotary, but she is our area chair now for the NMI. So, and I've asked Joann, so that appointment comes from the chair. And so being that I am the state chair, I appointed Ms. Aquino for this position. So I asked her to find volunteers who would allow her to do what she needs to do. And she's also an ombudsman. She's She's with our ombudsman team, so she understands you, Sarah. She knows when it doesn't sound right, and when there's a complaint with a service member that something doesn't sound right for their rights under you, Sarah. Joann, that would go to Joann. If there's a case, then that goes to Guam, and if we open up a case, then we determine what that service, if there are any grounds that the service member may have, if they feel that their rights for you, Sarah, have been violated, right?
Right.
And we're glad to be here. We love CNMI.